Spera. This is the iTechGear Weekly, episode number 160. So many mistakes, so little time. Recorded live Sunday, January 25th, 2026, live from iTechGear Central. As I said, I'm Christopher Spera, the editor-in-chief here at the iTechGear.org. Joining us today, hey, we've got a full crew. We've got the dulcet tones. It's the editor here at iTechGear and formerly the contributing editor over at Gear Diary in the late great pocket now. That's Mr. Chris Gavula. How are you, sir?
I'm doing fine. I feel like I should have something clever to say, but I'm too busy shaking my behind off here
Well,
because of the cold.
And not as a moneymaker. So
and not as a moneymaker, just trying to stay warm.
My goodness, it's cold out there.
We're all in the deep freeze here, aren't we?
Oh, yeah. Yes. Welcome to the Great White North.
Yeah, no kidding.
Beauty, eh?
Oh, it's beauty, eh? And that over there is the the editor here at iTechGear.org and the former contributing writer of Gear Diary and currently the host of the Linux Link Tech Show, Living in the Retro Arcade podcast, and Fitness for the Rest of Us. That's Brother Joe McLaughlin. How are you, sir?
Cold.
Yes.
And that white stuff has to
out there,
go. We had about a foot. So
hey, go outside and make some snow angels.
Yeah.
Now
I'm telling you right now, we don't even have a half an inch over here.
Oh wow.
And over here we have about half what Joel has.
Yeah, no. Over here
we got quite a bit, but
the western suburbs of Chicago, we didn't even get a half inch.
I saw they got more closer to the lakefront of Chicago.
Oh, I'm certain that they did.
But not out by you where you are. Yeah.
No, and way south of I-80, they got because everybody that down in that neck of the woods got dumped on. But
Friend of mine texted me a picture of his deck in Connecticut. The snow was equal with the rail.
Nice.
Goodness.
Drifted,
that's awesome.
Probably, but still,
that's 2 to 4 feet.
And listen, Chris, another voice heard from.
Yes, another voice. That's the editor here at iTechGear. Then, of course, the former co-owner of WUGNET Publications. That's Dr. Mr. Larry McJunkin. How are you, sir?
I'm fine. We did survive the big snow and ice storm here in East Tennessee, only because the weather guessers overhyped it.
Well, yeah.
And lastly, apologies if I seem a little disconnected today. I lost a very good friend last night, but I tell you what, heaven got one of the best.
I'm sorry.
It happens.
Very sorry to hear that.
Yeah. Very, very, very sorry for your loss.
But glad you didn't get iced over the way they were taking. But it's one of those things that if they don't predict it for the worst and the worst happens,
they're
going to get the crap beaten out of them.
Right. Then it's worse.
It's even worse. So what do you do, right?
Rather over-prepare and
too.
under-deliver.
Yeah, they do have a can't-win job. I know.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And we're actually going to talk about that a little bit later in
the
show to an extent. But before we go ahead and we really, really jump into things as part of the Apple segment here to kick us off, I want to go ahead and do a quick PSA. If you are sitting on an iPhone that is not running the latest version of iOS 26. Now's a good time to go ahead and do that. Long story short, it's got the latest, greatest security updates. You've got the latest bug fixes. You've got the latest, greatest things. And if you don't want to run the glass interface, you really don't have to anymore. You can cut that crap out and turn that mostly turn that off. But if you aren't running the latest version of iOS 26, you might want to go ahead and jump on now. They're going to stop making the iOS 18. They're going to stop producing that, and you're going to have to.
I think they already have for some of those some of those security fixes, and quite honestly, there's a lot of folks, all in the food chain saying you got to do this now, kids. It's time.
Yeah,
it's time.
Yeah. So if you aren't, now's a good time to go ahead and jump in. We've got another piece here that I want to go ahead, and I'm just going to move this up. We had this at the end, but of the Apple segment, but I'm just going to go ahead and move it up just simply because it's apropos. The new Siri is expected as part of iOS 26.4, and 26.3 has already been released. It's already out there, and usually after all of that happens, we usually expect to see a beta of the next version of iOS, in this case 26.4, and that's where the new Siri is expected to happen, isn't it, Chris?
And we haven't seen it yet. It's
No.
been kind of an extra week or two longer than normally before, but the holidays happened and all. So I would expect we'll see the first developer beta on it soon now. If they do what they've done in the past, the Siri features might not be in the .1 of the beta release. It might be a couple of dots in. We've seen that happen before with update features that were greatly anticipated. But 26.4 looks like where this thing is going to land. It's somewhat Google Gemini based, but it isn't. But it is. It's one of those. We'll see exactly how much when this thing actually comes out. I think it's supposed to be very, very deeply integrated. It's supposed to be like the most exciting thing, like they announced 2 years ago and didn't do. So we'll see how this looks when it really hits. And it's supposed. What I'm hoping here myself is that it is deeply integrated, but it isn't. It isn't the way that Microsoft has "quote unquote" deeply integrated, and we'll get to that too. But the point I'm getting at is Microsoft has kind of thrown AI at everything, but they've kind of just done it like throwing spaghetti at the wall. Whereas Apple seems to be finessing it a little better, but we're going to see if that's really true when the thing finally comes out, because it may not. It may just be a lot of smoke and mirrors. We don't know yet. So hopefully they did a good job integrating, and it'll be smooth and quiet and under the hood and not in our faces and not screaming at us. So we'll see.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll see, but it's coming. It's coming, kids.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so let's go ahead and get into the Apple segment then. The Apple Creators event is supposedly coming within the next couple of days or so, isn't it, Joel?
Yes, January 27th through 29th. It could coincide with a new MacBook Pro announcement. I think this is what also might be the event where they're going to announce the Creator Studio deal, which is going to include like a Final Cut and Logic and a lot of their like Pixelmator and
and a whole bunch of other creative based apps that are Apple creations. Pixelator, like you said,
enhancements to Keynote and Pages.
Yes.
Yeah, there's supposed to be AI versions of them that will be included, as opposed to non-traditional versions like we have now. We have the traditional versions.
Are they going to go ahead and completely cut out those versions, or are they going to keep on doing that?
No, my understanding was they're going to keep the regular versions, but if you want these AI versions, you'll have to subscribe to this package. Yeah, that's the theory. That's what the rumor is. But again, what does we always say, Joel?
At least they're doing that. If Microsoft 365 would not force you to take Copilot and give you what you used to buy, more people would buy it.
Yeah,
I think that's true. I think that's absolutely true.
Full list
I agree.
Is Final Cut Pro, Logic, Pixelmator Pro, Keynote, Pages, Numbers, Freeform, Motion, Compressor, and Main Stage.
Okay.
And so this is the event that's going to sort of present what that whole package is going to look like. And what did you say, Joel? I think that they're going to potentially announce some of these new MacBooks. The things that are probably just processor upgrades is probably what they'll announce.
Processor bumps.
Well, yeah, this should be the
M4
if they do announce them, this should be the M5 Pro and the M5 Max.
These are the quiet bump ones, the ones that are not.
These are the more quote unquote pro versions of
but not big design
MacBook
changes,
Pro.
just mostly just processor increases and things like that. So
these are just the newer processors.
I think what we should watch for is if they do in fact announce some hardware, and they might, we should watch to see if there is any kind of price increase due to the RAM price questions that are coming up.
Yeah.
I'm going to be curious if they're going to be able to maintain it. This might be a good indication of what they might do in the coming months with pricing. So I'd be curious to see what they do here.
Yeah,
assuming they do release hardware. Yeah.
It'll be an interesting time. It'll be an interesting event. If they do go ahead and announce them, I'm wondering if we're going to see any kind of a price upgrade, sorry guys, price upgrade or any kind of increase, or maybe problems with availability on these things. I don't know.
And folks, sorry in advance. At our advanced decrepit age, you're going to get these senior moments. We're just going to have them.
That's true. That's true. But you know what else I heard this week was that Apple was doomed. They're doomed.
Again?
They're doomed.
Must be a
Yes, again.
Tuesday.
And
Must be a
again, you know
Tuesday.
why it is? Because of
Why?
AI, but it's not the way you think. Larry, what's going on with that?
Well, first of all, don't think for a minute that Apple is ever going to be doomed.
They're
There's
not
no
doomed.
way. And we were talking about this during the pre-show. We're kind of tired of every pundit, every other pundit has to come out every other week and say, "Oh, Apple's dead. They're going to die." Well, no, they're not. But I
Clickbait,
think
right?
with this the story, the way I read this, I think that the TLDR preface to it is that Apple simply may not be buying as many chips as some of the other players are. So what happens when this huge unstoppable force of AI meets the immovable object that is or was Apple's stranglehold on the supply chain? I think we'll find out because a lot of money being thrown at AI these days, and that money requires chips. And
Yeah,
the chip makers are now starting to get bigger orders from other people than they are from Apple. So they're no longer, or Apple is no longer the favorite son here.
that's
So I
true.
think, and NVIDIA and AMD are the top two. They are really taking up a larger footprint in production. So that means that Apple's chip designs are just no longer getting that top spot. There's
True. It was
probably
a year
two,
or so ago that Apple really had the top spot, wasn't it?
they did, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, they truly, yeah, they did.
but
I
maybe
don't know.
not, maybe not so much anymore. I mean, like you said, it's going to be Nvidia and who else?
AMD.
AMD that are really getting more of the love
This
from.
this article actually says that that NVIDIA has it probably, if they were really count the numbers closely or count
Mhm.
the products, NVIDIA has now surpassed Apple as TSMC's largest client.
And
Wow.
That
it's
kind of
important.
makes sense. I mean, if you think about it, because growth in smartphone sales is harder and harder to come by.
Well, and it's you're right, and that's a big part of it. And the other big part of it though is on a per unit basis, they make more money throwing chips at these
Oh,
AI
sure,
servers than they do at consumer products. So
sure.
of course that's where they're gonna put their bucks, right? I mean, I get it.
Yeah, and the efficiency of the market is going to ensure that, of course, not every bet pays
Hmm.
off, but those who make
True.
judicious gambles, it will pay off. Take a look at Meta. They put how much money into virtual reality, and it all ended a week ago when they killed the reality labs division at
Yeah,
Meta. Gone, done. So
Yeah.
that means they put total, from what I read, $73 billion
that's with a
from
B.
start to finish went into Reality Labs. So put that in context. You would have to spend $1 million a day for 200 years to equal $73 billion. That's a lot of money, guys.
That's
That's
obscene.
it's
It's obscene.
obscene.
You know.
Well, that explains those pictures of Zuckerberg standing out front with a rolled up wad of bills lit up like
Yeah,
a cigarette. I
yeah,
understand it now. Yeah, that makes
yeah.
sense.
Yeah, well, he only makes $1 trillion a year now.
Yeah,
Oh, I tell you.
it's got to tighten the
Well, I
belt there.
mean, and the sad part about this whole thing is good news for everybody throwing those billions at AI, because when the bubble pops, and we've said it here, and I still believe someday it'll happen, no
Yeah,
matter how bad it is, all those billionaires running those companies, they have friends in high places in the current
They do.
administration or any administration. They're going to give them a bailout package. Guess who's going to pay for that?
we will.
Yes, we will.
We will
We'll
because we
be
pay for
happy
every
to.
bailout that happens.
This is what we
So
do.
that's
That's just
awesome.
what we do. But that's all I have to say about that.
Well, that's awesome.
Well, it's nice to know that Apple's doomed as a part of this.
Yeah, that's
There's
true.
no way in hell.
They aren't. Yeah.
Right.
No. No. But you know what? There is some good news on the horizon. And you know what that is?
What is that?
What
I'm
is
moving
that?
us to our mobile Linux segment.
Oh, thank
Well,
God.
wonderful.
And apparently, Larry, Greg, go ahead. Don't put the box away. Get back
I
on it.
won't.
All right.
Get
No,
back
I
on the
won't.
box, Larry.
Apparently, Tesla has put autopilot behind a paywall, sort of, right?
I think more than anything, this is a simple situation of people like NeoWin can't report the truth. They report what they think they hear, And they're not the only ones. This story has been wrongfully reported in several places. So I actually did talk with a Tesla person about it.
Okay.
And so
So
it's,
what are the facts? What are the facts here? What actually happened?
basically the facts are that recently Tesla announced that their full self-driving system, what they call
Hmm.
FSD, will be offered exclusively via a monthly $99 subscription starting February 14th. They've
Okay.
always had that subscription,
Yep.
but
Yep.
they've also had the option to pay them $8,000 and you can have that thing for life. So they're
Right.
just doing away with that. The same subscription they've always had. But the EV automakers also discontinued what they called autopilot in the US only. And that left only what they call a feature called traffic aware cruise control. Fancy name for what we all know as adaptive cruise. It lets you stay a safe distance, preferred distance behind the car in front of you.
Hmm.
And you may have the option to bump between lanes, but you will not have any safety features where the car will move to get out of the way of another car like it had with the previous auto steer, which
Sure.
was part of autopilot. That's
Right.
the part that they took away,
Yeah.
and it's been completely discontinued. So again, the TLDR version here is that if you don't pay for the FSD subscription, there is no automated maneuvers will ever be made by your Tesla. And it's basically the same car that Chris and I and everybody else on the show here has.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's kind of,
I have a problem with this. I mean,
we all do.
I don't have a Tesla, and I'm not going to buy an electric vehicle anytime soon. There are no plans, and even if I were in the market for a new vehicle,
But
I wouldn't be looking at an electric. Um, but that's just me.
Yep.
The problem that I have though is this is yet another subscription based. You lay out, and for a
well,
Tesla, I mean,
yeah,
you're at a minimum of anywhere between 35 to $70,000 to get into the vehicle, and then that's probably the base model
Yeah,
for whatever it
actually
is that you're buying.
35 to 55 now, then it bumps to 99.
All right. Yeah, the better vehicles, obviously, they're more expensive, but some of those vehicles are just so bleeding expensive, and even at $35,000, it's not still not cheap. I mean, you're still paying a five to $600 car payment a month, um,
Or more.
for
or
anywhere
more.
between 6 to 7 years.
Well,
But
the
but if
the
you
bigger
listen
challenge.
to but if you listen to Musk, this is what he said, and he said it on X. He's
Hmm.
creating a path here. First of all, Tesla's only doing this to get more subscriptions. We all know this.
Yeah, and
Hmm.
that's
But
the move.
according to, and I think that it's also they're creating a path to increase the subscription price because Musk said this subscription price will increase in the future when we add features like text while driving
Yep.
or even sleep until your destination.
Yep.
If they add that, then the price will go up to probably $200 a
Yeah.
month.
I
What
find
what
that fascinating
really?
because I have that in car. I already have that in CarPlay. I can text while
Well,
driving.
hell, I've got that, and I don't need any of that crap.
Yeah, exactly.
No, you do that, but you don't have the
Yeah, that's right.
safety
That's the difference.
blanket.
That's the difference. Anyway, but the problem here is that the last thing after I'm paying $500-600 a month um for the car in and of itself. The last thing I want is an extra 100 or two
But yeah,
tacked onto that for the subscriptions that they're
but this
they're
is
saying
but
that
this
you.
is this is the larger picture that all these guys are going toward to push you towards subscriptions more and more and more, and to nickel and dime you for things that you used to sort of get.
Right.
They're just
And I've got
Do
an
you,
issue with that. Aren't we paying
they're
enough?
all doing it.
well,
No,
yeah, Chris, you are. But let me tell you the one thing I honestly think you may be forgetting about. Tesla has made to date well over 8 million automobiles. That's a lot, even
That is a lot
compared
of
to the
cars.
other
It is.
American brands. They push out around almost 2 million a year. They did in 25, and they're
Mm-hmm.
going to do more this year. The people who drive that car, before I drove one as a test drive, I was right in that camp that said, not me, I'll never own one of these things. That car is so cool to drive. I mean,
Oh,
it's a
don't know.
I don't doubt that. The
I
issue
mean,
though,
that's why people pay it though. They're willing to pay it. They can pay it, so they do. End
right?
of story. They can.
Yes, yes, yes. The issue though
Joel,
that
how
I
much do
have,
you pay? How much do you pay Adobe a month? Be honest.
say again,
60? $60 maybe?
what?
50.
Joel, how much do you pay for a
50.
full Adobe subscription these days?
50.
It's only
50 a month.
twice that.
Yep.
So the issue that I have though here, I mean, it's yet another subscription. B, you're already paying a lot for the car, and it's not like there's a what I would consider to be, this is not going to be a reliable used car, because that battery's got age and miles on it. All right. And that battery is the car. So if you buy one of these same things used, and
8-year guarantee on it.
okay, fine, an 8-year guarantee. You buy the doggone thing used. I mean, you're what you've basically bought is a battery that ain't gonna go. All right. And replacing that battery, I mean, you may as well go ahead and buy yourself another new car.
I don't think I would ever buy a used Tesla. I
I
just
would
don't.
never
Insurance rates on there are very high because electrics are very expensive to repair.
Yep.
So there's other challenges with that. It's not just Tesla, it's all EVs.
That's
all
odd.
EVs,
I mean,
and I
maybe
get
it's a
that.
statewide thing or difference, Chris, because
Nope, I
my
can show you the
insurance
numbers.
my insurance will go down. My
Uh,
insurance company, and I'm
it
with
may be
USAA. I don't know.
that's not what the trend is saying. I can show you offline here, but
Oh,
we're
I
not.
believe you. I believe you. I just
The trends are saying insurance on EVs is very expensive.
Yeah.
So it's a thing. We
Yeah.
can sit here and probably go back and forth about EVs all night long. But we have
Yeah.
more going on, don't we, Chris?
We do. We do. For those that know who Oppo is, OnePlus is the Indian and North American arm of Oppo, and they're changing the way that they are going to be operating in the U.S. Isn't that right, Joel?
I'm trying to figure that out from the article, but that's what uh, Chris says here.
Yeah. The long and the
Yeah.
short of it. The long and the short of it is that the OnePlus did have a small presence in the
Very
United States.
small.
All right. The OnePlus Open,
Yeah.
and
The-
the
and a
OnePlus
bunch of
Open
other
was their first folder, was the Oppo
Find N3, I think, wasn't it?
yeah, the N3 Find, right, the Find N3.
Well, we know it had a presence in Detroit and Oswego, Illinois.
That's true. That's true.
Absolutely true.
That's true. And so far, it's been a good phone. It's been a really,
Yeah.
really good
They've
phone.
been a little slow on updates, but otherwise, not too bad. I mean,
Not
it's been
too
a good
bad.
phone.
All right. And there were one or two carriers. I think you could probably get it on. I thought it was T-Mobile, and I thought it was an online only thing. They didn't have them in the
and
stores.
not their high end one either. We're talking about the Nords, which are not high end devices.
And the Nords, for those who don't know, the Nords are kind of the low end of OnePlus's kind of lineup.
Yeah.
Yep.
But OnePlus is taking a step back here in the U.S. They are, and it's largely because the Oppo is a Chinese brand, and what they don't want to do is to run into all of the issues and problems here in the States related to the issues that our current administration has going on with China. And so
and tariffs.
and tariffs.
Come on, yeah.
So they are ratcheting operations here in North America back a bit. You can still get the phones, you can still get the stuff online via OnePlus, but and they will be usable here in the States, but they aren't going to have any presence in on any of the carriers.
It's also unclear what they're going to do with newer models, because we know that the OnePlus Open 2 is not coming here.
No.
We know that now. It's been discontinued. And only the Oppo version will exist, and that's not going to be offered here.
No.
Don't you have to buy that picture only? I mean, you can't go look, feel, touch anywhere, can you?
Correct.
No.
Correct.
You cannot.
That doesn't work
it's a blind
for me.
buy.
I don't know, but
It's a blind buy. But So that's what's happening with OnePlus. Their operations in India completely unaffected. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you're getting your device in Europe via OnePlus India or not in the States, um, you're probably going to be unaffected by this completely. But here in the States, they're taking a step back simply because they don't want the bad press and they don't want all the grief related to the Chinese stigma. So,
Ugh,
yeah.
another
There's
challenge.
only so much room in this hardware space for phones anyway. So
Yeah. And speaking of weather apps, so apparently the Pixel weather app was the least accurate, at least for one reviewer over
Yeah.
at 9 to 5 Google, wasn't it, Chris?
Yeah, that was the claim anyway, that it was the least accurate form during, with respect to this snowstorm system that's moved through this week.
Right.
Here's what I wanted to say about that. And the reason I brought this one up for us, because this particular article talks about, the Pixel weather app being the problem.
Right.
But really, you could have inserted almost any weather app into this, depending on where you are and how you are. And the reason I wanted to bring
you
this
are to the source that it's giving you.
Yeah, exactly right.
Right.
Exactly right. People don't know, like AccuWeather, they're out of Pennsylvania. They're not near most of us, period. So you might get a variety of and so basically wherever they're sourcing their local information from is where you need to be worried about in the back end. We do know, I believe that, did we not say that weather.com is like number one in terms of people using it, and AccuWeather is number two in terms of people using it?
Mm-hmm.
but that doesn't mean, I don't think it means anything.
I was just going to say that, Larry. That doesn't mean that they're the most accurate or least accurate. Here's what I'm telling you, and here's what I do. And I think you guys mostly do the same thing. We tend to run multiple weather apps on our phones, and then we compare the answers. I have 3 or 4 depending on which phone I'm talking about, which device I'm talking about. Chris, I think you said you have at least 3 apps you're using.
I have.
Larry, you said 3.
That I look at.
3.
Yeah.
And the thing is,
I have like Radar Omega, which gives me Nextrat information right on the phone. I also have another one that will let me see weather radar on Android Auto while I'm driving.
Yep, I've got one too that I use. Yep.
Because that's handy, because
I think so too.
There's no one weather app to rule them all. There really isn't.
And I think you have to kind of look at the forecast that they're reporting, compare that with the official forecast. Although those are going to get challenging because the funding's been cut for a lot of that stuff. So I'm not sure what that's going to look like in the next couple of years. It has, but I don't know what it's going to look like. They maybe find other ways to work around that. Don't know. But the point is, when you go look at all this stuff.
Yeah, you go to 4 or 5 grocery stores and you pick the one that's got the stuff.
And odds are good there's going to be some overlap in what they tell you. And you can kind of come to your own conclusions. But I would not, no way, no how, depend on one single weather app to be my one and only reliable source for weather in my area, ever.
I think that's great advice, Chris.
Yes.
That's kind of why I wanted to bring this up, because I thought that was an interesting complaint that this reviewer made. But it's not specific to that product, no matter what the reviewer said. So,
and you got, like I said, you got to look at it. Like some of them, like for example, if you're in a suburb, some of them might just look like a suburb of Columbus. They may just look at Columbus for you, even though you're in Reynoldsburg or Dublin or something like that. So it just depends on if there's a weather station in your city or suburb. Which
sometimes I think we overlook. I think we overlook what might be the best weather app of all, simply because it's not the most popular. If you live in Chicago or you live in Columbus, Ohio, why don't you try aggregating the content from 3 of your local network stations? Because they're aggregating all the weather models.
I do that as well.
Area.
Yeah.
And I think you get a better picture of the weather from them. It may not be as pretty an app, whatever.
I think what you get from them, Larry, and I think you're right, is because they already aggregate some of it for you. But more than that, they tend to update more frequently than a lot of these apps do.
Right.
So
and not to mention, in fact, a lot of the stations will have their own weather radar that's different than what
And
NextRad will give. The national NextRad will give you, or like for example, Columbus areas uh, in the Wilmington, Ohio boarding zone. There, Wilmington is where our main weather radar is
let,
that covers our
let,
part of the state.
let me also
So
suggest, as another kind of side source for this, if you don't have radar, or even if you do, bring up your Maps app and click on traffic. You're going to see it go yellow or red if there's problems in a given
Yep.
area near you. It's going to be a very good source of what's going on out there. You'll see it across the
True.
board. It's another kind of
Very true.
side way of thinking out the box a little bit. It's another way to coming at the problem. So you should do that probably before getting on the roads anyway.
Right, right. Especially, this weekend with all of the snow and ice storms that are
Yep.
being experienced throughout most of the country. I thought it was like 40 out of 50 states. So
Something
a
like
good
that. And
80% of the country.
most states will also have highway maps in app form that will show you the status of roads around
Sure.
the state. And sometimes they'll show you traffic cams and other things all in the same app. There's a
Right.
lot of things that you may want to do, but the point is you need to kind of make a mix of stuff. If you're going to deal with the weather, don't rely on one single source for everything. Not even your news source. So not one source. Look at multiple things. But if you're
Look
going to,
around. Best
anything that
advice.
aggregates, it's the best way to do it and compare things and kind of go,
Yeah.
okay, this is what seems to be going on.
Sure.
Gotcha. All right. So anyway, just want to kind of throw that advice out to folks.
No, it's good piece of advice. If you're using one, you should be using more than one, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Period. I just to make because let's face it. I mean, predicting the weather it's the only one of the only jobs that you can have that you can be consistently wrong and not get fired.
Yep.
You know,
As long as you present it with a happy tone.
I miss Sonny Liston. Honest
Oh.
to God. Oh, anyway, so did you guys also hear that buying a new phone in
Oh my goodness.
2026 is gonna suck?
Yeah.
So you need to plan ahead.
Yeah, that's the long and short of the form of this, and we've included an article that talks about this again.
Yeah.
But the short form is RAM prices are going up, whether we like it or not. AI is going to cause another demand on RAM chips and other chips. All these things are going to conspire.
Anything silicon made, anything silicon
Yeah,
based, it's going to capture and hog up that life form like
there's going to be increasing demands, and there's going to be increasing prices due to tariffs and other things.
Yep.
That the bottom line is they're predicting, there's no guarantee on this, but they're predicting that it's going to be a rough year for new phones. So the suggestion might be that if you absolutely have to wait and have the newest one, great, go for it. But understand that you may see price jumps. What you might want to do is wait till just before a new model comes out and the old model prices drop and grab it then.
And don't necessarily, if you don't need it, don't buy the flagship if you really don't need it.
That's some of the suggestions that are being made here to sort of
one of the comments I thought of that article, one of the comments was more interesting than the article. The guy
probably
said, really, it was. The guy made a great statement. He said, you know what, folks, get over it. We could stop making smartphones totally. Every company stop for 3 years. We'd all be just fine.
That's
true.
That's true. I mean,
we're buying them because they're making them.
Right. I'm still using an iPhone 15 Pro Max, and the phone is just fine.
Well, and we all know, and we've talked about this before, but let's face it, all these manufacturers, and whether you're buying a phone or a tablet or another PC, they're struggling to find reasons to get you to buy a new one. They're all kind of fighting this battle right now, trying to get you to, that's the whole part of the whole AI push, kids, is they're trying to come up with a reason for you to buy a new PC and a new tablet and a new phone.
They're trying to make new features and trying to make new attractions, if you will.
But a lot of it would run on existing devices, but they want you to buy a new device, so they're pushing it. And I get it, that's what they got to do. But just keep in mind, think about it.
If you've got a 5-year-old phone, you may need a new one, but you don't need the newest one.
Correct.
Yep. And so you have choices. Just keep in mind that you guys have choices. Keep in mind that you can plan for this. Keep in mind that, you don't have to cave into all the hype. You don't.
No, and you probably shouldn't.
Think about what you
But we
need,
do.
but think about what but we're also kind of to the side of, we're in the tech business, as it were,
Yeah,
in what we're
it's a
doing
little
here.
different.
And so we're going to do that. But for most folks, think about whether you really need it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Think about whether you need it. If you don't need it, maybe you wait a year
Then, yeah, or two.
or two.
Ain't gonna kill you.
And even amongst ourselves, we've done that a couple of times. We used to, all of us used to be every year, like clockwork. We're not all like that anymore. Some of us wait 2 years, 3 years sometimes now.
Yep.
For at least between key devices.
I
Yep.
wish I could.
Well, it's kind of like the other reason too is that with all of the different things that have been on there, like two-factor, multi-factor kinds of things and passkeys and all that, it becomes harder to transfer than it used to be, or a little bit clumsier, especially if you're trying to change platforms.
Mhm.
You're trying to change platforms, it becomes much more complicated.
Oh,
So
boy.
these you have to think about the hurdles when you're going to do this more so. All of these things, it's all about planning and thinking. So
Yeah.
all they're trying to tell you is that it's also going to cost you more, kids. So think about it.
Very, very true. Very, very true. So you know what I'm going to do now?
What are you going to do?
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move us to our Windows segment, but I'm going to do that right after this brief message. Hi. This is Christopher Spera from iTechGear.org. I wanted to talk with you today about becoming a contributing donor to the site. iTechGear.org has been around for almost 15 years. In fact, our anniversary is just around the corner on January 10th, 2025. 15 years. Where has the time gone? I mean, I've never really asked for any kind of donations for the site. It's always been about me providing value to you, a site visitor or podcast listener. The iTechGear Weekly is now in its 4th year of production, and Chris G, Joel, and Dr. Mr. Larry McJunkin and I are having a really great time providing you with some of the best free tech talk available from time-tested original internet writers, testers, site founders, and professional writers and editors on the internet. I truly believe that our crew has some of the best and most qualified pundits and commentators on the internet today. And we're not hobbled by any kind of sponsorship or affiliated relationship or other time-bought posts. It all comes from the heart. Unfortunately, times are kind of tough. And since the COVID-19 pandemic of 2020 to 2023, yes, almost 3 full years, times have become increasingly difficult for small independent sites like iTechGear.org to stay afloat. You know, I normally do this with a portion of the salary I make from the day job, but with the IT market so tight right now, it's really difficult sometimes for many to make normal household ends meet, let alone fund a site like iTechGear that might decide to bring in a buck or two. You know, it ain't easy. If you find any of our content on iTechGear or from ITGW to be of any value at all, I would seriously appreciate you donating as little as just $1 to the cause. While we do have a Patreon site, it's hard to keep one website up, let alone two. And since it's really only me doing the work, our Patreon site hasn't really helped us at all. If you can make a donation to the site or to the show of any amount, I'd be forever grateful. All donations will go to site maintenance, hosting, podcast hosting, and everything iTechGear related. Donations can be made to my PayPal account at chris@itechgear.org. Make a donation. We'll thank you immediately on the next ITGW episode and voice our gratitude. I want to thank you. We appreciate your consideration, time, and attention. Now let's get back to the latest iTechGear Weekly episode. And And welcome back to the iPhone, the iTechGear Week, the iTechGear Weekly, episode number 160. So many mistakes, so little time. And I want to go ahead, kids, and take us into the Microsoft Mistake-a-Thon. That's right, kids. We've got a whole bunch of bugs, and we're spinning that big old wheel.
Oh my goodness,
man! You know, we've got 5 different stories this week. Microsoft has really stepped in it this week. I mean, and this is just
we had to cut some. We could have had more.
This is true. This is true. We did cut some of these, cut some potential stories out.
We had a bonanza of problems this week with Microsoft stuff.
And this is just absolutely bananas. We're going to run through these quickly because I don't want to take up too much time because this could be just a show in and of itself.
It really could.
You know, seriously. But apparently the Windows 11 bugs, they abound. There's plenty of these things. And what's going on with this, Chris?
Well, there's a whole bunch of them. I mean, and I apologize if I overlap any of our other things in the list because there's just been so many. It's easy to, they've broken Office 365 a few times. The latest Windows updates broke not the latest, but they broke remote desktop logging in. And that had to be patched. And a lot of times they were saying to unroll the bug fix, the Windows update in order to fix it. They were telling you to unroll it, to reverse it. There was a secure launch bug. There was another Outlook freeze bug. There was
a lot of these were caused by the January update, though. I mean, a lot of
they
were
caused
by
and
we've said this over and over. And
2 weeks ago, I had two users.
Yep.
Right after this was a week ago from this last Thursday, that update, they did the update. They went to log back in, and neither one of them could log back in. Wouldn't accept their credentials.
Yep. That was the secure bug. And there was a bug that if you had your data stored in the cloud, they were having trouble with it. If it was from Outlook and it's stored in the cloud, you were having trouble getting to it.
Yep.
It just went on and on. They broke a lot of stuff in this last Windows apps. Some Windows apps wouldn't open under certain circumstances.
I mean, this is just crazy.
It just went on and on.
I gotta say this because my gig is software quality, and it has been for the last 30 years. Where the hell is their testing team? How can you? I mean, honest to God, I know you can't test everything, and this is a huge market, and there's many applications that are out there. But the stuff that we're talking about, the remote desktop, the secure launch.
Chris, you know the answer to that. You know it. It's because they ran out of time. They had to push it.
Well, here's the interesting thing. So it's not clear. It's not clear to me. But it's not clear to me, Chris. Did this happen just on the Intel releases of Windows 11, or did it also happen on the ARM releases?
I was dealing with 2 ARMs.
They were both ARM-based ones?
Both of mine were ARM computers.
Cross-processor.
Brand new Surface laptops.
Gotcha. But it is interesting. So 26H2 is about to go into beta release. Yep. And it's ARM only. It's ARM only at first.
And it's
largely
the higher-end ARMs only.
So are they having trouble? Are they having trouble with their releases? I mean, we know they are. But
obviously they are. And what really bothers me is that it doesn't seem that their QA team is doing their job, because
do they have a QA team?
They that is a damn good question, and it's kind of sort of what I'm dancing around. It's kind of sort of what I'm dancing around. Where is the quality team? Where is the testing team?
All the reports seem to be coming from consumers first, and then Microsoft says, "Oh, oops," and they'll either tell you to roll back the update, or they'll tell you we got a fix coming.
Roll back the update. Honest to God, here's what is really burning my butt about the whole thing. Microsoft, and I've said this over and over again, Microsoft creates the software that runs the businesses that run the world. But
you know what's interesting?
They cannot afford to have shit like this happen where people cannot.
But haven't you noticed, though? It's been less and less, though. People are walking away from it. They've had it.
And they've had it because of them doing stupid shit like this. I mean, this is unexcusable. Yeah. How in the world can Microsoft call themselves any kind of a quality organization? How can they hold the and they're losing the market share? How can they hold the market share Um, and B,
Well,
the
and there it seems
more
like
than
they're not only losing it on the consumer desktop and the corporate desktop, but they're also losing it in the server space,
mm-hmm.
which is really it seems like it anyway. So we talked about the larger stream of bugs that came out in the last set of updates. We talked about machines not booting, right, Larry? That's what we've talked about. So now, also, what just a couple of days ago, there was an Office 365 outage that primarily was supposed to have affected Outlook, but there were reports of other Office 365 services, including Teams itself, being impacted potentially. It didn't impact everybody, but again, this is another one on their list of problems they've had in the last few weeks getting anything working out there. I don't know this is happening.
You might want to listen to this little statistic, and I didn't just
Sure.
dream this up. Linux currently holds the dominant share worldwide of all servers at approximately 72%. The
I
Windows servers hold 20 to
I would,
25%.
and
and
this
it
is
didn't use,
why.
Also,
and it
Linux
didn't used to be the
dominates
case.
cloud infrastructure
I was
dominates.
just going to say, so in my own operating environment, I can tell you in my work environment, that statistic is pretty close to the truth in our Linux versus Windows kind of implementations.
Right.
Well, yeah. I mean, 20 years ago, that wasn't the case.
It was all
No,
Windows 20
no.
years ago. We did everything in Windows 20 years ago
Everything was Windows, and the smart
in
folks
the
jumped
server
on the
space. Yeah.
Linux bandwagon early, simply because it's it's more secure. It was easier to get fixes. And still is. Um, and
Well, and it
they don't
supported low
seem
power processors, which Intel did not, and
right,
Windows did not.
right.
So
So so
not mostly didn't. Yeah.
oh, this one just
Yeah. Oh,
it just makes me absolutely bonkers because half of this and they're telling you to either, like you said, roll back the patch, which is a bad idea because there's stuff that they're not talking
right.
about. The stuff that works, the security patches that work, you need.
If you want the answer to the question you asked earlier, Chris, in 2010,
Yeah.
75% of all servers were Windows,
Mhm.
21% were Linux, and the other few percent were whatever.
Mac or whatever else, right?
75% down to 20% in 10, 15 years.
And this is why,
On the
and this
server
is
side.
largely
Yep.
why.
and
I mean,
and and we
businesses can't
can
afford to have this
and
happen.
we can say that in the consumer space or the desktop side of things, the equation,
Yes.
and laptops and things like that. But we are also seeing a shrinkage of the Windows market share in favor of Linux, in favor of Mac. I mean,
But
this is what's happening.
but Microsoft will tell you they don't care. All they care about is how many people buy Microsoft 365 and Copilot. That's it.
But I don't think those numbers are increasing either. So,
Oh, they're going up probably,
what
but
No, I
I don't
wouldn't
know.
think so. I wouldn't think so. It's largely because, I mean, Microsoft is in your face with Copilot everything. All right.
well, they're going to start losing
You
it there. You're
cannot
right. You're
open
right.
up
You're
a
right.
Microsoft app nowadays without having Copilot in your face. I mean, it's the first thing that I open up Word, and it's the first thing that you see.
What
Copilot
would you like me to do
initializes, what do you want
today?
to write? And I'm like, get the hell out of my way and let me write.
No, I can do it better.
Oh, kiss my
I could
AI,
do
would you
anything. You
please?
could
Honest
do
to
better.
God.
You can do anything. I can do like that. We know that.
so so all the bugs, and then again, with Windows update, PCs don't boot, and then you've got the Outlook outage. That, I mean, there was absolutely huge, and then with the AI thing, Nadella is also saying, Joel, that
Yeah.
the public has had enough of AI slop. Now, what the hell does that mean?
Basically, AI slop is anything like, for example, say you're on the social network and you see something like some weird flavor of energy drink or food
Mhm.
that you like. You know, 9 times out of 10, that's going to be fake. That's what would be called AI slop. Or like you might see something like a video clip of a star saying something you know that star would not say. AI slop. You
Mm-hmm.
know, but you could say that if anything that's generated by AI, especially the eugenic stuff, but it's Satya is like he wants it to be widely generative AI to be widely adopted across industries,
Mm-hmm.
but then
What he needs to
he has a
realize is the public's tired of Copilot. That's what they're
yeah,
tired of.
yeah.
Well,
I
they're
mean,
tired. There's, to be very, very honest, I don't know that
right.
there's anything quote unquote wrong with Copilot. All right.
Yeah,
The issue is not that the AI is bad. The issue with Copilot is that Microsoft is shoving it in your face,
it's the push
marketing in the way
AI
that it's
and
instead
they're
of
implementing.
let
and
me
they're
use
bolting
a
it onto everything badly.
pull AI instead of a push
Yeah.
AI.
Well, they're also bolting it onto everything without really thoughts as to how to bolt it on or why to bolt it on or how it benefits customers. They're
Agreed.
not really thinking about that. They're just bolting it there. Let me throw another quick stat at you. It turns out Office 365 is in fact still growing in terms of subscriptions. It actually is still growing. However,
Yeah.
there's two things to keep in mind. They're trying to transition things more to AI because they make more money per user when AI is bolted on. And they're planning a big price hike apparently in July. They've announced
They
such a
Awesome.
just
thing to take
they,
effect in their E3 and
they just
E5
had
accounts.
one.
Yeah, there's going to be one. This is not the consumer. This is the E3,
Oh,
E5
oh.
corporate side. They're going to make a big hike. Supposedly in 2026, it's scheduled to do it. And the idea is to increase the average revenue per user. So, and they hold about 30% of the productivity software market right now,
Mm-hmm.
way ahead of Google Workspace and others. So they're still the biggest, and they're still growing a little bit. So there you go.
Well, so
And they keep making mistakes. So right now they can afford to make mistakes, or so they think.
right, right. They can. I'm getting tired. I'm tired of it. I'm
I am
tired of
too.
We're wearing out the flapper on our wheel.
Right. The other thing that we were kicking around in email and text this week, and I know it's not here, but it's connected to AI. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to mention it. It is anticipated that there will be, and this doesn't have anything to do with Microsoft or the Mistake-a-Thon specifically, but AI in general. There's a bubble forming, and
Mm-hmm.
from a corporate perspective, everybody is trying to save money. A lot of the IT based layoffs that you're seeing are because they're quote unquote implementing AI and they're cutting human capital to help pay for it. There's a bubble that's forming, and it's anticipated that it's going to pop, and it's either going to pop this year or in the first half of next year. And
Right.
I truly hope that does happen, because that'll mean that I'll likely, get back in the employment market and have a better chance of getting and keeping a job over the next 7 to 10 years. But what's really kind of killing it all is, and what's really kind of a problem with all of that is that it's going to create a skill sellers market, or an employee based market, because you're going to have skills that are needed back in the marketplace, and you're going to be able to command a price hike, and a premium on your skills, whether they're AI based or not, and that's going to cause another bubble, and we're going to repeat this cycle until it sort of evens out. But
Chris G, what was the thing that we were talking about the FBI and BitLocker? What'd they do there?
Well, we're getting there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
we
So
are. We are.
this
We are.
is
But
yeah.
that's the point that I was trying to make as far as the eyes. There's a bubble. It's coming. It's going to pop next 12 to 18 months expected. However, now Larry, what you were talking about is
No. Chris said he's going to cover it. I just
this is horrible. This is horrible. This is horrible. Microsoft, and this is probably the biggest mistake that they've made this week. That it was announced that Microsoft has, and they've already done this, handed
doing
over
it, yeah.
BitLocker encryption keys to the FBI so that the FBI could decrypt some data on specific PCs.
Yeah. So the short form is this only happens under certain circumstances, but it still happens. So basically, if you've uploaded your BitLocker keys, which is your disk encryption keys on your Microsoft Windows laptops
Yeah.
or desktops, and you've uploaded them to the cloud, which many people have because
Well, it
you don't
does
want
that
to lose the
automatically.
keys.
well,
BitLocker
they
does
asked you
that
to do it.
automatically.
Most people just do it.
I
You
know.
have
And
no
most people
control
do,
over
right.
that.
Well, you do.
BitLocker
You do
automatically
actually, but
sends
you
it.
do actually, but you do, but they will. You have to say no. right? Larry's right. You have to say no, and if you don't, then it gets uploaded there. And quite frankly, it's a convenience for a lot of us. But here's the thing: we didn't know. They don't encrypt it on the server side. And oh, by the way, if the FBI requests it and it's up on the cloud, they're going to give it to them. They
I will
basically
give
said,
Apple kudos here. They have never, ever once caved to the government. They have refused to
well, so
allow
the
this.
two questions are, why are they handing it like that without any
Right.
kind of question? And number two is, why isn't it encrypted on the server side?
Yeah.
Up in the cloud. Why,
Might be the
why?
bigger question, actually.
Because Apple encrypts their stuff and they can't even see it. Microsoft can not only see it, but it's not even encrypted. So they'll just hand it over. Really? So those kinds of things made me think Microsoft doesn't give a crap about me as a user or customer or anybody for that matter.
It's clear if they're handing you, there is a assumed, and it may be incorrect. All right, there may be an assumed application of privacy with your data. All right,
implied maybe, but
implied. All right, my data is my data. It's encrypted. What good is the encryption if Microsoft is going? What good is BitLocker if Microsoft's just going to go ahead and hand over the encryption keys to the FBI so they can decrypt your data, or to any law enforcement for that matter,
or anybody for that matter? These things are unencrypted. That makes it easier for bad actors to potentially get that data.
Absolutely.
It really is a much bigger issue than the handing off. I mean, that's a problem, but this is much bigger.
Where's the due process? I mean,
well, supposedly the government or the FBI or anybody has to come with proper kind of legal warrants or whatever to get it. But the point is, even with all that going on, it shouldn't be up there in an unencrypted state. It shouldn't be there because anybody can get at it.
Correct.
I think the bottom line, boys and girls, is you're not as safe as you think you are.
No, you aren't. The data should be encrypted on the server, at least or protected at least from a firewall based perspective. There's a level of quote unquote
I'm sure there's some
protection on the server side,
but it's got to be zero-based knowledge on their side, and that's what Apple does.
And Microsoft has full visibility. Apple does not.
No,
to their stuff. So that's not right.
No, it's not. It's not, and it's a huge pain in the ass.
So once again, Microsoft has shown us, what they really think of us.
And
unfortunately,
this is just absolutely unconscionable. I mean, honest to goodness, it is. What in the world? Why is anyone on Windows at all? Why is anybody using BitLocker at all? Why is it turned on? Why does it even exist? If Microsoft is just going to go ahead and give all that data to the FBI or to anybody, if they come to them with a warrant that says, "Hey, I want so and so's data."
Now, there should be a risk if you're going to have your data on something that has a zero-based knowledge, like Apple does. You should accept the responsibility of, if you lose the key to that, you're dead. You can't expect them to come bail you out.
Agreed.
Yep.
Just like I know how to get into my file vault on Mac, but if I lose that ability, it's my fault, not theirs.
Right.
And but that's a little bit different though. If I do that,
but if you lose your BitLocker keys, Chris, whose fault is it?
Mine.
That's what I'm saying.
Mine.
You can't go call Microsoft because they
won't give it to you. They won't give it to you. You own the data, but they won't give you.
But what Chris is saying is, well, they really can if they wanted to.
They can. They can, obviously, because it's not encrypted on the server.
They shouldn't.
But Apple can't. Yeah. But Microsoft can.
They won't. And they won't, because they'll tell you if it was BitLocker encrypted, we can't get to it.
Unless it's the government, and then they will.
Unless you're the government, and then they will hand it over without.
And let me make it clear: in the story that we're quoting here, they're not only talking about the United States government; they're talking about other governments too. The example they give is actually outside of the country. So, it's all over the place, worldwide,
which is just absolutely nuts.
How very unfortunate for us.
It is. It is. And it's I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move us to our tip of the week segment. It's a good thing that we ended with this BitLocker thing, because you know what our tip of the week is?
What's our tip?
I'll get to that in a minute. I want to remind everybody before we get to the tip that iTechGear was founded with the intent of, making technology easy for everyone to use and understand. And this team has dedicated their writing careers to that specific purpose. And every week, we're going to have a weekly tip that will feature here on the show. It's going to be authored by one of our experienced editors. If you've got questions, requests, suggestions, and yay, dare I say, ideas, do me a favor, write those down. Tie it around a rock and send it over to tips@itechgear.org. And if we go ahead and we use it on the show, we're going to give you your 15 seconds worth of fame. This week's tip is very apropos to the last story from the Windows segment. Use strong and unique passwords. All right. Passwords are your first line of defense against hackers. So using weak or reused passwords is risky. Is Ricky? Who's Ricky?
Ricky?
I don't know who Ricky is. But Lucy, I think you have some explaining to do. All right. So a strong password should be long, unique, and include a mix of letters, numbers, and special characters. Avoid personal information like birthdays or names, since those are, generally easy to guess. All right. Password managers like Bitwarden, 1Password, or even RoboForm can help generate and store complex passwords, so you don't have to memorize them all. You just basically remember your master password. You remember one, and then you have access to everything else.
Let me add to that.
What's that?
4-digit pins, bad. You can go with a longer pin. Please do, because a 4-digit pin can be hacked in seconds
easily
today.
And at least your iPhone, after 3 tries, even if you have a 6-digit pin, it's locked up. So,
Yep.
But hey, Chris, let me add something. I teach a security class here several times a year, and I just want to bring out something that people don't realize. If you use a password that's 8 characters long and it has numbers, uppercase, lowercase, letters, and symbols, it is only going to get you 5 minutes before it can be hacked. But if you move that to 14 characters, you now have a million years before that can be cracked.
Yeah, let me add to that thought, Larry, because that's a very important thought. If you work today and any support for any government institution, you may have to be what's called IRS 1075 compliant. And guess what one of the requirements is for the minimum password length? They bumped us up last year, a year before last, from 8 to 14. They bumped us up. You have to have longer passwords now.
Yeah, they're trying to move everybody to ID.me, actually, if they had their way.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, only 14 digits. I mean, it's not that hard.
Or 14 characters. 14
characters,
not digits, right? Not just digits. You want
upper,
lowercase, numbers, as well as special
characters.
And there are strategies for doing that. It doesn't have to be the craziest thing on the planet.
No.
There are strategies for making that work for you.
Correct.
So
you should also use two-factor authentication, or 2FA,
absolutely,
which requires
true.
a code sent to your phone or email in addition to your password. This extra step makes it much harder for someone to break into your accounts, even if they steal your passwords.
Although there are glitches with SMS-based text code sendbacks. So you may want to be, if you have an alternate to that, do that first.
Right.
Only do the SMS fallback if there's no other way to do it.
Sure. But using strong, unique passwords for each account prevents one security breach from giving hackers access to everything. Good password habits are one of the simplest but most powerful ways to protect your digital life.
Digital hygiene, kids. Digital hygiene.
Digital hygiene. Absolutely. You may not necessarily know where that data's been, but you want to be able to go ahead and make sure that you ain't got the dirty bit. So
don't trust anybody who comes up and says, "Smell my finger."
No.
Okay. Listen to what I'm telling you.
Yeah. Smell my password. No, thank you. No,
thank you.
No. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead then and move us to our tip of the week. And this is one of the rare instances where I have also got the pick of the week. And I'll tell you, this is a little bit more expensive, but I was fortunate enough recently to, my company sent me a very nice, before I was let go, before the contract ended over at Walgreens, or the last employer, they went ahead and sent over a very nice Amazon gift certificate, and then I got some other Amazon gift certificates for Christmas. So even though this particular deal is a little bit more expensive, this was a freebie for me, and it's a really really good one of the ones that I got. I'm talking about the Elegoo Centauri Carbon 3D printer. All right. It supports 500 millimeters per second high speed printing. It does auto calibration. It's got a 320 degrees Celsius nozzle, built in camera, ready to print out of the box. All right.
That either sounds like a printer or a sex toy. I'm not sure which.
You know, you
That's
could probably
right.
make one with the, never mind. Anyway, it's a 3D printer. It's currently $350. All right. Not including filament. All right. But the nice thing about this particular printer is it will support multicolor with a separate add-on that you can get for this. Number one. Number two, out of the box, it's ready to go. You just kind of set it up, turn it on, follow these setup instructions, plug it in, boom, ready to go. It's got a camera that's built in so you can monitor the print while it's going. It's got an aluminum body. It's kind of heavy. I mean, it's a big unit, but right out of the box, I mean, it arrives fully assembled, pre-calibrated, ready to go right away. Which, if you're new to 3D printing, this is probably a really decent one to get. I took some time looking around at these, and even though there are some Creality, and Joel, you're the 3D printing whiz here on the team. There's some Creality printers that are out there that are really, really very, very good. This is probably one of the easier ones for newbies to get into, and you can get a decent amount of compatible filament for under $25 right now. All right. So you've got PLA filament that's available for $23.78, and then you've got some PLA Pro filament that's available for $30.
Hey,
But
I
this
got
is
a question for you
not too
3D
bad.
printer people. I am not one, never had one. I'm intrigued, but I've never done it. How
Mhm.
long do you think it'll be before we can use AI to say, print me a Christmas tree ornament like the one Joel sent us. You
Oh
define the
yeah.
object, tell it to print it, make it this color, that color, have 14 stars in it or whatever.
I
How
have
long
not
before
been
that
able to
happens?
successfully generate an STL file for
Yeah, okay, that.
with
I was gonna
any
say it
engine.
would seem to me you'd make a picture of it and then say, hey, turn this into a 3D object I can print or
Yeah,
something
but
like
right
that
now
would
you
probably
can
be your
tell
process.
AI to make the picture even if you don't know what it is.
You
Just
can, you
describe it.
can, you
Right.
can, but that's the conversion you can't do yet.
Right. And that's
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 a
the
good
issue.
question though. That's a really good question though.
If they
So
It
ever
can't.
reach that, then they'll sell a lot of those printers.
It's going to
I think
jump.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's a picture of this thing. Here's a couple, different angles of this thing that I want to print
Yeah.
and make. Print me,
Yeah. Turn this into my
riddle me
CAD
this.
file and let
Turn
me
this
go.
picture
Yeah.
into a 3D printing thing, and then it automatically creates the STL file and sends it right to the 3D printer that's connected to your machine. I would
Cool.
say it's going to be at least a couple of years.
It's
But
Yeah.
coming.
But I was going to say, I agree. I think it's coming because people are going to want that. There's no
yeah,
question in my head.
I agree.
You know,
I agree. But
that's the next logical step, right? You know,
yeah, yeah, and that's an area where I would love to see
oh, sure.
um AI have a presence in that. I think would be
Yeah. No
valuable.
kid. That would be useful. See those are the kinds of things it ought to be doing,
Yes,
not
I don't.
helping me with File Explorer.
Yeah, I don't need you in File Explorer. I don't need you in Word necessarily.
Yeah.
Um. So anyway, but yeah, I mean,
Ah,
not a bad little deal. Not a bad little deal. Having fun.
okay.
And my
Sounds
my
like
Good to
grandson
fun.
know.
is all about toys being printed on. In fact, my son-in-law went bananas with his Creality printer. He bought some pink and red related filament, and he's printing stuff for the kids to give for Valentine's Day at school.
Oh,
You know,
Okay, very nice.
so their Valentines are not those papers or stickers that you traditionally see, but they're going to be little things that they're just going to drop in their box or put on their desk, you know, and they're going to know exactly who they're from. So pretty cool.
Good for him.
yeah.
Yep. But that's this week's pick. And that, kids, that's the show for the week. This has been the iTechGear Weekly, episode number 160. So many mistakes, so little time. Recorded
I'm
live.
exhausted just listening to it.
I know. Recorded live Sunday, January 25th, 2026, live from iTechGear Central for Mr. Chris Gavula, Brother Joe McLaughlin, and Dr. Mr. Larry McJunkin. This is Christopher Spera saying, hey, we will see you next time.